So in today's video, we're going to talk about why it's important to have your brand and your business fully aligned with you, who you are as an individual. My name is Sandra Wilson and I'm a business coach for female entrepreneurs. And I help female entrepreneurs to open up to new, expansive, exciting ways for their business while often doing the scary stuff. So let's talk about bringing your brand into alignment with you as a person. Now, when we're not in alignment with us, on who we are, what can happen is we can start getting sidetracked and we start trying to do other things that we see other people doing, thinking that will work for us. But if it's not in alignment with who we are deep down, then we can start running into difficulty. Because you can take your brand on social media, you can be posting blogs, you can be doing videos like the video that I'm doing just now. There's so many things that you can be doing on to market your business. You can go onto TikTok and you can start creating videos with text flying all around with music in the background, which is great. But if the things that we're doing is not in alignment with who we are and what we want our brand to represent, then it can start getting a little bit frustrated. We can get frustrated, sorry, and we can start burning out. We're doing too much and we're not getting the results. And that's because we're not fully aligned with our branding. So if you've ever been in that situation or you're feeling a little bit like that just now, that you're kind of all over the place and you're trying to find your space, just post in the chat below. I would quite like to hear if that's resonating with you. And you're trying to grow your business, but maybe you feel you're slightly out of aligned and you're not sure where you're going. Just leave a comment in the chat. That would be great. Thank you. So if you find yourself out of alignment with your brand, the first thing I want you to do is go right back to basics. So we need to look right back to the foundation of, it's not really your why, that's another, that's for another video, but this is like looking at the foundation of who you are as a person. Okay, so some of the things that I help clients do is really, really figure out what that foundation is. What is their brand built on? And it's built on yourself. So here I'm going to give you a little bit of coaching around how to manage this situation when we find ourselves in this situation. So you need to successfully get back to that foundation. And how you do that is you look deep into yourself. And there's three things that I would suggest you do to really get to the bottom and the foundation of who you are. The first one is, I'm just checking my notes here. You want to figure out your unique brilliance. Okay, you want to figure out what is it that makes you unique and what's brilliant about that. So it's your unique brilliance you're looking for. The second point is, what are you an expert in? Okay, so what are you an expert in? You might be doing it or delivering a similar service that you might be out there seeing other people delivering, but what are you an expert in? And that really brings you back into alignment with yourself and your brand. And the third one is, what are you a stand for no matter what? I'm just twisting my notes around there. So what are you a stand for no matter what? So I want you to think about those three things. So it's your unique brilliance, what you're an expert in, and what you stand for no matter what. Once you tear it back down to those basic three things, that then gives you what I call the soul of your brand. Those three things are the soul of your brand, and then everything else you do is then reflected or works around the soul of your brand once you know those three things. So it acts as a guide. So for example, okay, so you're thinking, if I'm an expert in such and such, like you start thinking, well, how would I turn up in my marketing? How would that show up in my marketing? Or if you're considering, I'm a stand for, so you're a stand for something, how does that come over to your clients to show them that you're a stand for that? And that's very basic, but that's what starts the building blocks and brings you right into alignment instead of trying to do all the things all the time. And you're really bringing it back in to look at those foundation pieces. And once you're really clear on the identity around the soul of your brand, you then can start looking at what areas of your business to bring that into. So we talked briefly about marketing, but I want to give you 8 touch points that your soul of your brand can really be shown in your for your business. So if you've got pen and piece of paper, if you're not already writing down those from those 3 points, write down these 8 points, because these are the 8 touch points that there's many more, but I'm just going to talk about 8 here. These are the 8 touch points that you can then really reflect the soul of you in your branding. It's really, really a clever way to bring everything together. So the first one is quite obvious. So in your tagline or in your logo, you want to reflect who you are. So not just what you do in the service that you offer, but who you are. You're bringing the soul of your brand alive. So your tagline and your logo, have a think about that. The second one is in your marketing messages, like we talked about before. So everything that you're doing, everything that you're delivering has that soul of the brand guide in it. And my notes are slipping off here, sorry about that. The next one is your voicemail. So if you've got a voicemail, so if your clients or potential clients are phoning you and you've got a voicemail, think about how that's reflecting you as a person. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all the different kinds of business owners and female entrepreneurs that will be watching this, but think about how your brand can be reflected in your voicemail message. It's a really interesting way to look at your branding. The next one is your email signature. So there's something about the soul of your brand being in your email signature, and really that comes over as you as a person, whether how you sign off or the image that you use or the message that you give, that can then reflect the soul of your brand. Images you share, so on social media, if you're creating images, quote images, that's all reflective of the soul of your brand. And your website. So that's kind of an obvious one, but I want you to go back to your website and have a look at those 3 things, like what you're an expert in, what you're a stand for, and what your unique brilliance is. Is that being shown on your website? And the second last one is your networking. So whenever you're networking, you want to bring the soul of your brand with you. So it's not just about what you deliver, like the kind of real practical things, but you really bring the soul of your brand with you, and your branding will just come fully in alignment with you and who you are. And the last one is the program names. So when you're creating programs and packages, think about program names that's really going to stay in alignment with you and with how you are as a person, and the soul of your brand will come through in your package titles. And once you find that, once you find the soul of your brand, and once you're able to use that as a guide, then everything becomes a little bit more concise. It doesn't feel as, you're kind of going all over the place, but that can really be reflected on anything you do with your business. And then your branding comes together. And when your branding comes together and your messaging is really clear, then it's really helpful for your clients or for your potential clients as well. So what I want to say is that if you need help, so if you need help in creating the soul of your brand guide so that you can then use it on all of these touch points, then I would love you to get in touch with me to figure out how we can then, well, we're not going to figure out, we're actually going to do it together. So what I would like you to do is just drop a comment in the chat below if you would like for me to get in contact with you, or to get in touch with you to arrange the discovery call, and we can talk about how you could start creating your soul of your brand guide and how I can help you with that. And one of the great things that when we do that, I'm just going to go over here to grab this. With the soul of your brand guide, I actually use what's called branding with archetypes. Now, you might have heard branding with archetypes, and what I'm holding up here is a card of one of my archetypes. So before we create the soul of your brand guide, what we do is we work out which archetype you are, and we take your top 2, and then we work with your top 2 archetypes, and then you'll get a PDF copy of your signature archetype and your influencing archetype. And how you can use these cards is it has a whole list you'll see on the back. I should title this one. So one of my archetypes is humanitarian. So that is the basis of my business around we're all okay as we are. There's a lot of equality, everyone matters. And that is that is what's at the soul of my brand. And because this is one of my archetypes, the card then gives me like branding words I can use. It gives me what my strengths are and challenges are around that particular archetype. archetype. So what I just wanted to show you that because they're so nice and they're great to work with. So before we do any of that though, we just jump on a discovery call and talk about where you are, with your how whether you're in alignment with your branding, and then we take it from there. So the work that I do around creating the soul of the brand guide isn't the practical part of the branding. It's really taking it back to basics before that. So as I say, we go through that process and we look at your unique brilliance. We look at what you're an expert in, what you're a stand for. I send you the PDF of your archetypes, but also I send you a workbook to work through, and you can then create the soul of your branding on there. So it's a really, really great piece of work that I do with clients. But before all that, we just jump on a discovery call. It can just be half an hour and we can just be talking about where you are with that. Okay, so thank you for your time today. If you do want to talk about that or more information, just leave a comment in the chat below. If you want to direct message me on this social media channel, then do that as well, because I'm happy then for you to get in touch with me that way as well. That's absolutely fine. So thanks for joining me today, and be sure to look out for more of my videos, because I'm really, as I said before, helping female entrepreneurs to step up, to look at more exciting possibilities in their business so that they can have a business that thrives and they can be making more money, they can have more time freedom and really enjoy themselves in running their business. So thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, bye-bye.